Good morning in the morning, I hope you're well. I've got a few busy days ahead, got lots on the to-do list in terms of lectures, studying, running, as well as some social plans. So I thought I'd take you along and kind of show you what I like to cook for myself when I don't have a lot of time but still want a nourishing meal. So for breakfast this morning, I'm having some classic porridge, which I just cooked with a bit of maple syrup, topped with banana, tahini, hemp seeds, cardamom and salt. So first of all, this combination is absolutely insane. It's so delicious. The cardamom and tahini go so well together. And secondly, porridge is definitely my go-to recently. I've honestly eaten porridge almost every day for the past 3 months. I am not complaining though, it's obviously delicious, but then also it's quite nice to have just that go-to meal that you know you will like and that's gonna make you feel good when you don't know what you want to eat, basically, which tends to be the case for me in the mornings. So porridge it is.
Was Sie halt angesprochen haben, dass sowieso erstmal der grundsätzliche Fokus wirklich auch auf Innovation liegt und dass das nicht irgendwie noch läuft, sollte man wirklich da noch mal.
I've just made some lunch. It's very gloomy today, so I wanted something hearty and something that was quick to make as well, and preferably in one pot. And I have combined all of that into this dish. Pasta with chickpeas essentially. It's a brothy pasta and it very simply starts by frying off a classic sofrito, so onion, garlic, celery and carrot in some olive oil, and then I added in some vegetable stock as well as some black pepper, a short pasta shape and some chickpeas. I covered this with water until the pasta and the chickpeas were covered and let it simmer for around 10 minutes until the pasta was tender. Before serving, I then brightened up this stew with some lemon zest as well as some fresh parsley and seasoned to taste with a touch more salt and served it up. I've just topped it with some really good olive oil. That olive oil is honestly so delicious and I feel like this soup is gonna like heal my soul. That is so good. I just love simple meals. I have just finished all of my online courses for the day and now I'm definitely ready for some lunch. I do want to keep it pretty quick though, just because I want to get back to the desk and finish all of the general work for the week. Anyways, let me show you what's going on here. I have caramelized an onion and some garlic on the stove for about 15 minutes, and I am very much aware that caramelization usually takes at least 45 minutes, but I have sped this up by using a spoonful of sugar in there, which helps the onions get soft and golden brown a lot faster. And then I also have a bowl of chickpeas, which I've just mashed with a fork to crumble them. So the onions are going in there, along with some oregano, salt, nutritional yeast, and tahini. I'm going to mix this together until everything is emulsified and creamy. The chickpea and onion mash is going on some bread. Should have just used a plate, but anyways. The second slice of bread, and get this in the sandwich press to warm up and get nice and crispy on both sides. For some freshness, I'm going to be adding some arugula on the side, some sliced radishes, and a nice drizzle of balsamic vinegar. Wait, I'm gonna have to dip it in the balsamic. Chickpeas are just so versatile. Like, chickpeas can be anything. After running a few errands at my parents' house in the afternoon, I got home at around 6 p.m. and I was just so hungry. The errands took way longer than I expected, so I had a bowl of chocolate cereal first thing. And once I had unpacked and was able to think clearly again, I got started on a proper dinner. I was in the mood for one of my favorite meals at the moment. It starts by roasting some hearty vegetables with chili crisp in the oven for about 20 minutes. Sometimes I also add tofu here, but this method of using chili crisp as the marinade is such a game changer for quick but flavorful meals. So while those veggies were roasting, I also cooked up some quinoa with a little salt. Once again, I switch up the grain for this. Usually I do rice or quinoa. I also made a simple peanut sauce, very similar to the one that I had made the day before. And once the veggies are looking golden and crispy, it's already time to assemble. The base of this bowl is a big handful of arugula, followed by the quinoa, which I had stirred some chickpeas through after cooking to add some more protein. Lastly, I added some fresh ingredients as well, those being some bell pepper and fresh parsley. Added some pickled red onions and finished the bowl by drizzling that peanut sauce all over. This dinner is so simple to make, but packs a lot of flavor from the chili crisp and sauce. It's definitely one of my favorites after a long week. That is way too hot. Good morning once again. I finally got a good night's sleep tonight. The past week or so I haven't been feeling very rested in the morning. My friend said it's got something to do with the moon, but I'm not so sure about that. Anyhow, I'm glad I was able to sleep better tonight because the past week has honestly been so busy. Now it's the weekend, which means I will consciously make some time for self-care and to relax. So I'm starting my day with a nice cup of tea, ginger lemon of course. Well, I'm not starting my day with this. I've already been awake for a few hours. I've already cleaned the apartment, but I'll get into making breakfast after drinking this. I have been inspired by the muesli queen herself, Mina Rome, to make a nice muesli bowl for breakfast. I think that's going to be a lovely way to get the day going. Okay, one thing about me, I love cardamom buns. And I've been wanting to make them myself for so long, but I just never did it. I'm doing it today. I made the dough yesterday while I was at my parents' house because my parents own a stand mixer and I do not. And this is honestly the ultimate form of self-care for me, so I am very excited. That is good enough. Okay, so these ones turn out very well. I'm not the best at shaping these because this is my first time making them. They're still pretty good. The rolls that I made, these were the first batch that I baked. The oven temperature that was in the recipe was probably a bit too high, so these burned a bit. So for the second batch, I lowered the temperature and they turned out a lot better. So I'm obviously gonna have to try one of these. Like, that looks insane. Oh my god, that is so soft. These are definitely like a lot of work, but so worth it. I'm gonna make them again, maybe in a few weeks, so I can learn how to properly shape them. Okay, I'm gonna eat another one. This one honestly looks good. Cardamom is just the best spice ever. Moving on to lunch, I checked the cupboard to see what I could use up for this meal and found some black-eyed peas. Wait. No, that is the band. I found some black-eyed beans and decided to make a rice salad with crispy tofu, a coriander dressing, and charred peppers. To start, I cut up the tofu into large cubes and got this in a container with 5-spice powder, salt, and cornstarch and shook this up to coat the tofu well. I fried this in a pan with some olive oil, flipping every few minutes to ensure all of the sides got evenly crispy. In the meantime, I prepped all of the other ingredients to have everything ready to go. So I sliced the bell peppers and set those to the side to add to the pan after the tofu, and cut up some cucumber into small pieces as well as some fresh parsley, which I roughly chopped. I then made the dressing for the salad in the bottom of a large bowl, just to save some dishes, you know, and started by juicing 1 lemon, adding some good olive oil, ground coriander, salt, pepper, and grated ginger, and mixing this together until well combined. At this point, the rice had finished cooking, so I added this into the bowl, followed by the drained and rinsed black-eyed beans and the cucumber I had chopped up. I mixed this well to ensure everything was coated evenly and served myself up a portion of this into my favorite bowl, topping with that crispy 5-spice tofu and the bell peppers that I had charred on the stove as well. Lastly, I added some pickled onions, which I am clearly loving at the moment, as well as the fresh parsley. This was a nice fresh lunch to keep me going and fueled in the afternoon.